Isang araw, nagkwento siya kung paano noong 1930s, sinundan niya yung kanyang ama dito sa Maynila para tulungan siya dun sa kanyang maliit na tindahan. Nagsumikap na siya agad. Siya yung nasa kalye, nagtatawag ng customer.
Dito po! Dito po! Dito po. Dito po kayo!
Pagkatapos magsara ng tindahan, maghihipos siya. Tapos, doon siya matutulog sa mismong counter. Minsan daw, paggabing-gabi na, aakyat siya sa bubungan. Di mapakali, titingin sa paligid, titingala sa mga tala. Pero, noong dumating na ang giyera, naubos lahat. Kahit wala nang natira sa negosyo nila, malakas pa ring mangarap si Tatang. Sabi nga niya, you have to start from the ground up. Simple lang yung pangarap niya noon. Shoes for every Filipino. Kasi nga naman, maraming mga Pinoy na walang sapatos pagkatapos ng giyera. At simple lang din ang paraan ni Tatang. Sipag, tiyaga. Yun ang turo niya sa amin. At tuloy-tuloy lang ang pangarap niya. Nung may mga properties na siya, isasama ka niya dun. Maglilibot kayo. Kahit hating gabi, 2:00 ng umaga, sabi niya, ito na ang pangarap ko para sa Pilipino. Yan, si Tatang.
As of now, we are 308 participants already, and this is a good number to start any virtual event. But before we begin, we just have a few house rules for this event. First, mute your microphone. Second, be mindful of background noise. Third, ensure that you are dressed properly based on email communication and reminders sent to you. Fourth, position your camera properly. Be sure it's in a stable position and focus at eye level if possible. Doing so creates a sense of engagement with our participants in this virtual event. Fifth, limit distractions. You can make it easier to focus on the event by turning off notifications, closing or minimizing running apps, and muting your phone. With this in mind, we are ensured that we will have a seamless event. Please rise for the Philippine National Anthem, which will be followed by an opening prayer to be led by one of our awardees today, Sheila May Tapia.
Alam ng puso, sakit di mo'y buhay. In the name of the Father, and now of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Loving Heavenly Father, we humbly come before you with thanksgiving in our hearts. Thank you for gathering us today to witness your good plan for each of us through this event, the awarding of SM College Scholarship. With your help and guidance, we were able to pass the SM Scholarship Program selection and are now part of this generous and fantastic SM Foundation family. Thank you for blessing us with this opportunity. Thank you for using and enabling SM Foundation as an instrument to help the financially challenged students like us, the incoming SM scholars who are passionate in our studies and full of dreams for our families, that amidst the trying times brought by the COVID-19, a beacon of light illuminated. Bless our journey together with our SM family. Please guide us in our studies so that we can make our benefactors proud of us. May you grant us courage, wisdom, and a teachable spirit that we may be able to learn from the different people that we will encounter. Let every experience that we go through be opportunities for us to learn new things. Lead us to the right mentors that will help us to become a better person and help us to think long term. Please continue to bless the SM Group and all its employees. May you continue to guide the SM Foundation team so that they continue to live up to the principle of people helping people, which in turn will spread social good. Daghan kaayong salamat Panginoon for these blessings. O kining tanan among giampo pinaagi ni Kristo nga among Ginoo. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Sheila, for leading our prayer. Good afternoon once again to all. I am Roma Hierro, and I will be your host for this afternoon's event. Just like many of you, I am a former SM scholar. I graduated from UP Diliman in 2017, and I am happily working in SM Foundation as their project assistant for health and medical programs for 3 years now. So before we start the program, let's first give a warm welcome for our special guest this afternoon. Let's welcome Mrs. Felicidad C., our Nana, Mr. Harley C., Miss Debbie C., Mr. Jose Shaw, Miss Carmen Linda Ataide, Engineer Ramon Hill Macapagal, Dr. Paulino Tan, Dr. Lydia Echauz, Attorney Epitacio Borselli, Dr. RJ Ermita, Dr. Teresita Medado, Attorney Arthur C., Miss Arlene Ke. We also have the C family with us, Miss Elizabeth C., Mr. Hans C., Mr. Hans C. Jr., and of course, let's also welcome our colleagues from SM Supermalls, SM Stores, SM Markets, and SM Investments Corporation, our dear parents and friends from media. And to formally welcome us in this afternoon's awarding of the SM College Scholarship, may I call on the Executive Director of SM Foundation Education Program, Ms. Carmen Linda Ataide.
Good afternoon, Mrs. Felicidad T.C., Nanang and family, members of the Board of Trustees, co-workers in SM Foundation, colleagues in SM, incoming scholars, esteemed guests, our media friends, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Congratulations to the 200 proud Congratulations to the 200 proud scholars and their equally proud parents. This afternoon, we have a lot in store for you. But first, let me give you a story of SM Foundation. SM Foundation was founded by Mr. Henry C. Sr. in 1983. And first, he started by doing philanthropic acts of donating to NGOs and government institutions and supporting events, charitable and civic events. And in 1993, he decided for SM Foundation to take on an advocacy to help the impoverished but deserving youth. And so he set up the SM College Scholarship Program. The College Scholarship Program was set up by starting with 100 scholars, and then later we have already produced to date 3,500 college graduates. There are many events and activities of the SM Foundation for the scholars, so that they can improve and enhance their scholarship, their academic as well as social skills. To date, we have 3,500 graduates, and you, 200 scholars, will make up 1,300 current scholars for school year 2020-2021. I remember a story once Mr. C was telling us that his feelings for the SM College Scholarship Program feels good here, and that sets the tone for this afternoon's event. We're very pleased that the scholars will have new stories to hear, stories of inspiration from the Board of Trustees and also from the graduates of the scholarship program, as well as from current scholars who will share the stories while under the program. So we would like to thank all of you for coming and hope that you will enjoy the rest of the afternoon. We have prepared also something different. It is like a chat between us, an educator and an educatee. So as the mode has been set by this feeling, we're very pleased and very thankful that you are all here to witness this very important event, very significant in the lives of our scholars. So welcome, magandang hapon ho sa inyong lahat.
Thank you for that warm welcome message, Ma'am Linda. Every person is free to dream and aspire for success. At SM, we believe that education is the key to help the youth in achieving their dreams and uplift their family out of poverty. And to show us more about how SM Foundation continues its commitment in spreading social good through education, let's watch this video.
Alagang kapatid. Ang pumanaw na si Tatang Henry C. Sr. ang brainchild ng scholarship program ng SM Foundation. Naniniwala kasi ang namayapang SM founder na ang edukasyon ang pinakamainam na sandata ng isang tao para labanan ang kahirapan. Sa ika-26 na taon ng programa, nabigyan po ng pagkakataon ang alagang kapatid para maibahagi ang kwento ng isang graduate at isang kasalukuyang scholar ng foundation. Sa unang tingin, hindi mo aakalaing dumaraan sa matinding pagsubok ang pamilya ng dalagang si Angelica. Kapos man daw sila sa panustos, sagana naman daw ang mag-anak sa pagmamahal.
Yung work po ng father ko, nag-extra po siya, nag-deliver po ng tubig. Tapos minsan po, nagtitinda po siya ng mga parang siomai rice. Tapos minsan din po, kung pag kinukuha siya ng mga kumpara niya, nagde-deliver po sila ng mga meat. Tapos yung lola ko naman po, nag-aareglo po siya yung para pong gumagawa ng mga design po ng sapatos bago po ilagay sa sapatos or sa mga sandals po.
Panganay sa 5 magkakapatid si Angelica, kaya hindi raw niya maiiwasang umako ng responsibilidad sa pagtataguyod ng pamilya at maghanap din ng mapagkakakitaan.
Naisip ko po magtayo ng business ko. Maliit lang po na business. Diyan lang po sa harap ng bahay na parang shake store.
Hanggang sa nadagdagan ang bigat na kanyang pinapasan nang pumanaw ang ilaw ng kanilang tahanan dahil sa breast cancer. Para daw silang nangangapa sa dilim sa paghahanap ng pera para sa patong-patong na bayarin at lalo't higit sa pagmamahal ng isang ina.
Bigla po kami nawalan ng nanay, tapos ang hirap bumangon. Grade 10 na po kasi ako nung namatay po siya. Tapos ayun po, ang dami pong gastusin. Siyempre yung living po, tapos yung mga hospital.
Sa kabila ng sunod-sunod na dagok sa kanilang buhay, nananatiling matatag ang dalaga. Nakapagtapos siya ng senior high school at nagdesisyong maghanap ng scholarship para maipagpatuloy ang pag-aaral. Sinubukan niyang magpasa ng application sa SM Scholarship Program matapos makakita ng patalastas ukol dito.
Talaga pong araw-araw pinagpe-pray ko, Lord, bigay mo na sakit to. Tapos talaga pong pinaghandaan ko po yung mga exam, nagre-review po. Yung kaba po nandun, saka po yung takot na hindi po matanggap sa scholarship kasi ang dami-dami po naming nag-apply. Nagulat po ako. Tanggap daw po ako sa scholarship. Bali, tuwang-tuwa po ako nun kasi sobrang laking tulong po nung scholarship na yun sa family po namin.
Ayon sa SM Foundation, isang very deserving candidate para sa scholarship program si Angelica.
Unang-una yung grades niya, maganda siya nung the time na nag-apply siya. Isa yon sa mga tinitignan namin. Of course, during the interview, maganda rin yung pagsagot niya and talagang yun yung mga nasa kanya yung mga qualities na hinahanap namin. Tsaka very determined din siyang makapagtapos.
Ang mga gaya ni Angelica ang taon-taong hinahanap ng scholarship program ng SM Foundation simula pa noong taong 1993. Mga batang nagsusumikap na makapagtapos ng pag-aaral sa kabila ng kahirapan.
So pag sinabi natin deserving, una-una syempre magaganda naman yung grades nila pag nag-apply. In terms na nangangailangan, yung talaga naman nangangailangan ng tulong pinansyal. Yung scholarship, ang kasama sa kanya ay full tuition and miscellaneous fees. And then meron din silang monthly allowance. Dahil nga sila ay SM scholars, pwede sila magtrabaho sa SM stores during their summer and Christmas vacation.
Hindi rin limitado sa Metro Manila o major cities sa bansa ang ibinibigay nilang scholarship.
All over the country, meron kaming about 130 partner schools. Yan. So, per province, meron kaming na partner schools na yan.
Sa kasalukuyan, nasa unang taon na ng kursong Bachelor of Science in Computer Science sa National University si Angelica. Miyembro din siya ng kanilang Student Council bilang first-year representative ng College of Computing and Information Technologies. Ayon sa dalaga, kakayanin daw niya ang pressure ng pagiging isang scholar, alang-alang sa diploma at para sa pag-ahon ng kanyang pamilya. Ipinagmamalaki ng SM Foundation ang higit 3,000 nilang graduates sa loob ng 26 na taon.
Bawat pamilya lang ay may isang makatapos ng kolehiyo. Matutulungan niya na yung mga kapatid niya makapag-aral. So over 3,000 graduates namin, nakita namin kung paano nila natutulungan yung family nila.
Isa sa itinuturing nilang model graduate ay ang kasalukuyang officer in charge ng Communications, Electronics, and Information System Office ng 15th Strike Wing sa Philippine Air Force na si Captain Edgil Lopez. Consistent Dean's Lister siya sa kanyang unang taon sa Asia Pacific College. Kaya naman, inirekomenda siya ng kanyang paaralan na maging isang SM Scholar.
Ang masarap sa pagiging SM Scholar, no? Every end of sem or tri-sem, bivisit ka sa kanila. Ipapakita mo yung grades mo. Siyempre, isa yon sa mga proud moment na makikita nila na yung mga pinapaaral nila, hindi lang basta naka-maintain ng grade, but above yung ine-expect nila. Pag bibisita ka sa SM Foundation, they let you feel na parang miyembro ka ng family na to ng SM Foundation.
Ang scholarship, tinumbasan ni Edgil ng pagiging isang honor graduate.
It's another way of saying thank you very much for the opportunity given by the SM Foundation. And with that award or honor, we could inspire other students. There are ways para makatapos ng pag-aaral through SM Foundation and their scholarship program.
Pero hindi lang ito ang ibinalik ni Edgil sa institusyong nagpaaral sa kanya. Naging piloto rin siya ng Philippine Air Force at ngayon patuloy pa ring nagsisilbi para sa bayan.
The Filipino people that we are serving, nakaka-lift ng spirit na malalaman mo na you are flying into dangerous missions. We are doing something that will make a difference in our country.
Kaya naman, malaki ang pasasalamat ni Edgil sa unang nagtiwala sa kanya para tumulong sa pagbabago at pagbubuo ng ating bayan.
I'd like to thank the SM Foundation for paving way for my college education. And also for the experience. Lahat tayo may kanya-kanyang dream. I think that one of the greatest cause para sa isang SM scholar is to pursue a career, a path, not only for yourself, but for the community, for the Filipino people, and for our nation.
Kagaya nga ni Tatang, ang kanyang vision talaga ay makatulong sa pamamagitan ng education. Kanya kasi education is the great equalizer. Malaki ang maitutulong nitong mga scholars bilang professionals or bilang mamamayan natin na nakapagtapos ng kolehiyo dahil sa scholarship.
Ang mga gaya ni na Angelica at Edgil daw ang dahilan ng pagpapatuloy ng scholarship program ng SM Foundation. Mga kabataang nagsusumikap na maabot ang pangarap para sa sarili, sa pamilya at sa bayan, anumang sitwasyon o hirap na kanilang pinagdaraanan.
I hope that you are inspired by the featured social good story. I'm sure each and every one of you will have your own stories to tell someday. At this point, we would like to call on Ms. Dinglan Sang, Assistant Vice President of SM Foundation, to tell us more about the benefits of being part of our scholarship program.
Thank you, Roma. Good afternoon to all our guests. And of course, good afternoon to all our awardees, the new batch of SM Scholars. I hope you are enjoying yourselves watching the videos. I'm sure you can relate to all the videos earlier. You will each have your own SM Scholar story to tell someday. Wow! As of this afternoon, all of you are now officially SM Scholars. Totoong-totoo na talaga ito, guys. Nag-sink in na ba sa inyo that you are all SM Scholars? Well, it's time to wake up and smell the roses and say to yourselves, yes, I am an SM Scholar. I would also like to congratulate equally or even more all the parents who are here with us this afternoon. Actually, the parents are, I think, the happiest people in our virtual room. Congratulations po sa inyong lahat. For this part of the program, I will be discussing the benefits of the SM College Scholarship, as well as our expectations and requirements for the program. Let me start by talking about the benefits of the program. The first benefit of the program are the tuition and miscellaneous fees.
I know most of you are already enrolled, and you were able to do so by presenting the enrollment certificates we issued to you. The second benefit of the program is the allowance. You, our SM scholars, will receive a monthly allowance of 3,000 pesos if you are studying in Metro Manila and 2,000 pesos if you are studying in the provinces. The third benefit is that you will have a chance to work at the SM stores during your summer or Christmas breaks. However, during this time of the pandemic, this is not possible. But hopefully, when the situation improves, then you will be able to work at the SM stores. The fourth benefit is something that you will experience at the end of your journey in college, which is an exclusive job offer from the different companies of the SM group. They will all be waiting for you to join them. And this is indeed something to look forward to. You not only have the gift of education, but will also be given the gift of employment. But of course, this is optional for you guys. You can still work wherever you want to after you finish your college. But remember, you are all welcome here at SM. The last but definitely not the least are the enrichment activities that we prepare for you, our scholars. Since at SM, we believe that the enrichment activities make learning more meaningful, valuable, and rewarding. These are events where you, our scholars, will be able to meet your co-scholars and more importantly, learn from the different learning sessions that will help build your personality, strengthen your values, and prepare you to be better citizens of the country. So there you have it, scholars. Those are the benefits that you will be receiving as SM scholars. Can I see those smiles in your faces? For the next part of my deck, I will discuss the major requirements in order for you to maintain your scholarship. Honestly, guys, it's very simple. Number 1 is to maintain an average of 2.5 or 85 with passing grades in all subjects. If you will notice, the grade requirement that we are asking for is very reasonable, considering that this is a full scholarship. The reason why our average required grade is 2.5 is because we want you to finish your course with us. We do not want to remove you from the program. In fact, many of our scholars do much better than this. Given their scholarship, I think they are inspired to excel in their studies and graduate with honors such as cum laude, magna cum laude, or summa cum laude. Some even become top-notchers in their board exams. The next requirement is to attend the enrichment activities. This will give you a fulfilling experience of being an SM scholar. Other conditions are stated in the contract, which you have received by mail. I know this will be easy for you to follow. Aside from these expectations from SMFI, we are also enjoining the parents to guide their children in this journey, since this is a shared responsibility between SM, the student, and of course their parents. So there, scholars, are you ready to take on the challenge of becoming an SM scholar? I'm sure kayang-kaya niyo ito. Now, for us to process your school transactions and benefits, you need to access the SM Scholarship Portal. But since this is a detailed process, we will be having a more focused discussion on this. The schedule will be posted in the Scholars FB group page. So please, watch out for your schedule for the walkthrough, which will run from August 17 to 21 via Zoom. Congratulations again to all of you, our SM Scholar awardees.
Thank you, Ms. Ling, for talking about the benefits and conditions of the SM Scholarship Program. I am sure the scholars now are excited about the benefits of the scholarship and will easily meet the conditions of the program. Am I right, co-scholars? Our next message will be coming from Engineer Ramon Gil Chito Macapagal, who is a member of the Board of Trustees of SM Foundation and Henry C. Foundation. Engineer Macapagal is a professional mechanical engineer and a graduate of De La Salle University. He is also currently the head of the Corporate Affairs and Sustainability Group of the SM Investments Corporation. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow scholars, Let's all welcome Engineer Chito Macapagal.
Good afternoon and congratulations to all incoming SM Foundation scholars. Education is a key to improving not only your life but also your family and even that of your community. While it is important to exert effort in your schoolwork, it is also important to develop as a human being. Remember, the quest for higher education is not merely to get a degree. Your good grades need to be paired with a solid work ethic, social skills, gratitude, and a never-ending willingness to learn and adapt. It is these skills that will help you navigate life after graduation. Currently, we all face a daunting challenge we have not experienced in our lifetime. No one has prepared us for this. Everyone is simply trying their best to manage the situation. In your case, the best you can do is to focus on your role as a student and adjust and adapt to learning challenges. But I believe there is a better tomorrow for all of us. Why? Because necessity is the mother of invention. Look at the efforts and the speed at which research laboratories all over the world are working to get us the vaccine we needed, as our survival depends on it. I believe there will be a brighter future for education too. Schools, educators, and learners together with IT, communications, and other professionals are already looking on how best to deliver face-to-face and online studying from a home and other agile arrangements. In our discussions with private learning institutions, they are already talking of great opportunities for 360 video streaming lessons. They are already working on both synchronized and asynchronous learning systems. Even the challenges of handling laboratory works are being addressed as we speak. Amidst all these developments, there is only one thing you can control, and that is how you respond to these challenges. Set a clear vision or a goal in your education. Expect and be ready for change. Prepare to adapt and innovate. And look not only on your physical and mental nourishment, but most of all, do not forget to take care of your spiritual nourishment. We in the foundation are also faced with challenges, but everyone in the organization are committed to providing you with the support to create a positive learning environment. May the good Lord watch over you and help you overcome all your personal challenges so you can all fulfill your dreams. Once again, congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Sir Chito, for that inspiring message. This afternoon, we are honored with the presence of our next speaker, Mr. Jose E. Shaw, who is the President and Chairman of SM Foundation's Board of Trustees. In addition, he is the Chairman of the Board of SM Investments Corporation and advisor to several leading companies in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, let us all welcome the Chairman of SM Foundation, Mr. Jose Shaw.
Good afternoon. I welcome you all to the SM family. This year is unfortunate that we have this long pandemic crisis. As I understand, there are about 25% of students that cannot enroll because of this pandemic. You are to be considered as the chosen one, to be one of the 200 SM Scholar for this year. For this, you should be thankful and make sure that may you make use of all these opportunities that is given to you. Let me guide you to where you are now, what you should do, and what do you expect in the future. Today, it is important that you should have a foresight of what you want in the future for your life. Because what you do today will determine what you will be in the future. If you just be a happy going guy, then you will end up with nothing in the future. That's today. As soon as you have now chosen the path of your life, then what you should do. There are two processes. You should develop your mind and your heart. You develop your mind because of technical and knowledge that you should gain. Be aware that you should develop your mind to be a thinker, not a doer. And making a knowledge, make sure that it is not a repetitive knowledge. Search, read, and accept what is coming to your life. Your heart, that's the second item. You should open up your heart. You should love your fellow man. You should understand your fellow man. And you should take care of your soul. Your heart should value the work. You should learn to value not only the work, but also the value of money. As soon as you have developed your mind and heart, and hopefully you have graduated from this college, then my question is, what is the future? There are now a serious discussion in education that we have been pouring, the word that is, have been spending too much money for education of college and graduate studies. And there are now some thinking that we should spend more instead to the undergraduate, to the high school, and to the elementary. We should spend more money in improving the education of high school, elementary, and college, because this is the time where we can develop the mind and heart of a person. Statistics will show that those graduating for master degree are having a hard time looking for a job now. So what is the future? The future will be, today, the machine are working for us. But in the future, we should work with the machine. Because in artificial intelligence, well, take over most of the repetitive work. The only thing that you and I can do is our thinking. Because machine, as of now, still cannot think. Most of the machine are doing the repetitive work. If you follow this future, then we should develop, as I said, our thinking process, our ability to analyze, our ability to work out of the normal procedures, because that will be the future. Also in the future, those that can work with others will succeed. Meaning to say, because of the machine, it is the person that can work with others that will shine, that will lead the world. The other thing that I have experienced in my life, I have been a scholar like you. I was a scholar in college up to my graduate studies. But during my time of college and graduate study, I already make up my mind to work and to study at the same time. Don't be afraid to make mistake. Mistake is a process of study. It's a process of gaining experience. What is important is that once you made a mistake, you should try to improve yourself and try to avoid to repeat the mistake that you have done. Above all else, how you do it, how you prepare your future, what is important is that you should love your God. You should pray. Pray that you be guided whatever path you take. Because at the end of the day, His will be done. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you, Mr. Shaw, for that moving message to our dear scholars. I am sure that our audience gained some lessons from that wonderful message. And now, to give us a preview on how your SM College scholarship has become a reality, let us watch this video. Wow, I can vividly remember the day I signed a contract with SM Foundation. Like what I mentioned, SM believes that education can be an instrument in changing someone's life. And in order to inspire you more, we will be showing 2 social good stories of our SM scholars whose lives have changed because of this gift of a college education.
Ang pinakaano lang naman po talaga namin na challenge na kinakaharap ngayon is yung financially po talaga. Since nga po nag-start yung pandemic, wala pong ganong project si Papa.
Medyo mahirap ngayon kasi may pandemic. Sa trabaho namin walang project, nag-extra ng nag-iihaw-ihaw, ganun.
Wala pong sweldo, pinagkakasya lang po namin. Minsan, muutang lang po sa tindahan. Pang araw-araw po, minsan po baon lang ng 20. Si Generous po pamasahe lang po. Tapos wala po talaga, nangihiram po sa kapatid niya. Kaya nangungutang sa 5-6, ganun po. Sobra pong nag-aalala po kami. Kasi alam naman po namin na malaki ang gastusin po sa college eh.
Nagtatrabaho po siya sa isang advertising company po. Installer po ng mga stickers, tarpaulins, and mga signages po. Housewife lang po siya. Pero po may times po na sumasideline po yung sa Avon, Red Logo, PC, mga ganun po.
Inuutang ko rin po yan kasi tapos pagka due date po, tsaka mo din po babayaran. Hindi po nabebenta lahat kaya abonado po ako.
Bata pa lang ako, sinasabi na ni Papa na yung pag-aaral lang yung parang madadala ko hanggang ginagawa niya lahat para sa amin. Kaya syempre gusto ko rin po tumulong. Yung maging magaling when it comes to studying.
Sobrang proud po sa kanya kasi nakatutok lagi po sa pag-aaral po sa kanya. Tutok siya lagi.
Since elementary po, honor student po ako. Grade 1 until grade 3. Top 1 po ako. Ayun po, pagdating po ng senior high school, sa awa po ng Diyos, naging with high honors pa ulit po ako. Nalaman ko lang po siya dahil po sa mga classmates ko. Tapos yung kaibigan ko po, tara, sama ka, tayo sa SM Scholarship. Ang pinaka nagagamit lang po namin ngayon is yung cellphone ko po. And wala rin po kaming wifi. Maganda po kasi yung library po dun sa amin. So dun na lang din po kami nag-apply kasi mabilis din po yung internet connection dun, hindi rin po nagloloko. Sobrang kinakabahan po ako nun kasi ang tagal makita yung pangalan ko. Nung nakita ko po yung pangalan ko, parang gusto ko nang umiyak nun. Sa wakas may chance, as in sobrang laki ng chance na maging scholar ako. Finally, makakatulong na dun ako sa family ko. Siyempre po sobrang excitement, lalo na po nung sinabi ko po kanila Papa nung pag-uwi ko. Overflowing po yung sabi, tapos sabi ko, nakapasa, ganun po. Tapos tuwan-tuwa na po ako ng buong araw. Yun po yung tumulong na mag-alis po ng doubt sa puso ko na yung challenge po namin financially, yung na matanggal po yung hindrance na hindi po ako makapag-aral. Ganun po. Siyempre po, sobrang na-appreciate po namin kasi po, despite of the economic challenges, hindi pa rin po tumigil at patuloy pa rin po na tumutulong yung SM Foundation para po sa aming mga scholars at para rin po sa pamilya po namin. Bachelor of Science in Accountancy po. Gusto ko po magkaroon ng title as CPA. If papala rin po, pwede rin po mag-lawyer. Ganun po. Kaya po, gusto ko na rin po talaga makapagtrabaho agad para ako na po yung magdadala ng income dito sa bahay. And syempre, gusto ko na rin po po itong bahay, matapos po, tapos makuha na rin po namin yung titulo po namin. Ganun po.
Sa SM po, saka si family, maraming salamat po. Sana marami pong matulungan ng mga bata, mga estudyante po.
Nagpapasalamat din po ako kasi isa sa anak ko yung natulungan po ng SM.
Sobra po ako nagpapasalamat sa SM po kasi po binigyan po nila ako ng opportunity na na maging worthy po para po sa scholarship na to, para po sa position na binigay nila sa akin. Sobrang thankful po talaga kasi finally magkakaroon na kami ng financial support din po. And sa C family po, sobrang hulog po kayo ng langit tas sana po marami pa po kayong matulungan, ganyan po. Huwag po kayong magsasawang tumulong kasi sobrang marami po nangangailangan sa inyo. Ako po si Jane Rose Season at isa po ako sa mga pinalad na makapasa sa SM College Scholarship Program sa taon na ito.
Ma, nakagraduate na po ako. Yun dating tirahan po namin sa aking tindahan namin nasunog kasi nagtitinda po kami ng paputok nung grade 3 ako. Tapos may nagtapon po ng yosi, so nasunog yung buong bahay namin. So yun po yung dahilan kaya nagpalipat-lipat po kami ng bahay. Ako po sa yung mom ko, tumira po kami sa kalsada, yung tipong kalsada po yan, tapos lalagyan mo lang ng karton, tapos doon ka nahihiga. Tapos nakita ng mom ko yung trauma ko. Kaya ang ginawa niya, nagkatulong siya doon sa pinsan niya. Tapos hindi rin po masyadong maganda yung relationship. Kaya ang ginawa ng mom ko, nag-decide siya na mag-move out na lang kami, tapos magtinda na lang siya. Tapos nag-bed space po kami. After po nun, hindi naman po kaya ma-bed space kami yung dalawa or mag-rent kami ng room. Kaya ang ginawa po ng mom ko, nasa labas lang siya matutulog. Tapos ako po yung pinag-bed space niya kasi yun lang po yung kaya namin. Looking back, parang hindi ko kaya. Parang sobrang hirap. Siyempre, ang hirap mabuhay kapag ikaw lang mag-isa, yung wala kang kampe. Pero alam mo yun, binibigyan niya ako ng mga taong hindi ko ini-expect na makakatulong sa akin. So talagang nafe-feel ko na ginagabayan niya talaga ako. So kahit gano'n kahirap yung buhay, parang damang-dama ko na hindi talaga ako ganun nahihirapan kasi may mga blessings pa rin na binibigay si Lord. Gustong-gusto ko pumunta yun ng foundation. Alam mo yan, nakita ko yung life in black and white eh. And may mga taong katulad ko rin. Gusto ko rin po sila matulungan tapos maabot nila yung mga pangarap nila. Ako currently nagtatrabaho as senior associate sa SGP. Usually malalaking clients yung mga hinahawakan ko. Mainly oil and gas industry. Tapos, aside from my work sa SGV, nag-work din ako as part-time tax consultant and financial advisor. Nung nakapag-work na ako, parang doon ko naramdaman yung financial freedom na kapag may gusto kang gawin, kaya mo nang bilhin. Nakapagbili ako ng laptop, ng phone, yung gusto kong phone. Meron din ako investment sa stock market, sa mutual funds. Nakakapag-travel din ako outside. So, hoping makabili ako ng condo unit before the end of December this year. Medyo mahirap kasi nung SM Scholar ako dahil nga walang sumusuporta sa akin, so kailangan kong mag-work mag-isa. 1 week, halos wala akong kinakain, so tubig-tubig lang. Pag wala akong pamasahe from bahay hanggang sa school, lalakarin ko siya. Dati mahal sa akin yung 100 na pagkain. Pero ngayon, parang kaya ko na. Wala na akong problema doon. Naalala ko noon si Tatang, pumupunta siya sa every General Assembly noong time namin. Nandun siya, in person siya pumunta. Isipin mo sino ba naman kami, di ba? Kami na nga tinutulungan niyo pero nag-e-effort pa rin kayo. Nakaka-inspire talaga. Goal talaga nila na matulungan kami. Parang binuboost niya yung moral ko. Parang doon mag-i-ignite yung passion mo, parang ba't ba ako nandito? Siguro yung mapapayo ko sa mga future SM scholar is hindi magiging madali yung laban, pero wag mo kakalimutan kung para kanino ka lumalaban. Yung nanay ko kasi, mag-isa niya akong tinaguyod. Bago siya mawala, ang lagi niya sabi sa akin, gusto ko hindi mo danasan kung ano yung nadadanas ko. Yung mga pinangahawakan ko na parang, kasi mag-isa lang ako sa buhay. Every night bago ako matulog, pinapaalala ko sa sarili ko kung bakit ako lumalaban. Kung bakit dapat ako makapagtapos ng kolehiyo. Maraming salamat po sa SM at kay Tatang. Dahil sa inyo po, kaya narating ko kung nasaan ako ngayon. May mga panahon na nag-aaral ako na pinanghihinaan ako ng loob. Pero yung SM ang nagsilbing tungkod, kaya ako nakakatuyo. At ito rin yung naging pundasyon para maabot ko ang aking mga pangarap. Ang natutunan ko bilang SM Scholar ay magkaroon ng tapang at lakas ng loob. At yung tapang at lakas ng loob na yun yung dala-dala ko ngayon para sa kinabukasan. Muli, maraming salamat po sa lahat ng bumubuo ng SM. Ako po si Ray Boyko. I'm a proud SM Scholar Alumnus Batch 2017.
Thank you, Jane and Ray, for sharing your stories. I'm sure that our co-scholars now are excited to start their journey as SM scholars and to create their own success stories too. But wait, there's more. The best is yet to come. To moderate the next part of our program, I would like to turn the floor over to Ms. Ling Lensang.
Thank you, Roma. We are truly proud of you. We are joined not only by our awardees this afternoon, but by our current scholars and some of the alumni who are all over the country and all over the world. This is the beauty of having an online event. Kahit saan parte ng mundo pwedeng maka-attend. Before we move on to the next segment of our program, we have a very special guest who will surely brighten up this virtual room with her presence. Without further ado, please welcome Mrs. Felicidad C., the wife of the late Mr. Henry C. Sr., and whom we fondly call Nanang. Hi, Nanang. Good afternoon po.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, Nanang. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. So, scholars, please meet Mrs. Felicidad C. Thank you, Nana, for bringing sunshine into our virtual room. Our next guests are experts in their respective fields and champions of our education programs at SM Foundation. Everyone, it is my honor to present our main speakers this afternoon, Dr. Lydia Echaus and Attorney Epitacio June Borselis. Dr. Lydia Echaus has 52 years of work and affiliations in the field of education in the Philippines and in Southeast Asia. Among her various appointments as director and trustee, she serves as trustee for Henry C. Foundation, Felicidad C. Foundation, and SM Foundation. She is also an independent director of 3 publicly listed companies: Metro Pacific Investments Corporation, DNL Industries Incorporated, and Filipinas Shell Petroleum Corporation. She also serves as a director or trustee of some other corporations, schools, and non-profit organizations. Dr. Echaus is a graduate of Bachelor of Arts in Economics and Mathematics from St. Teresa's College, a Master's of Business Administration from the Ateneo de Manila University, and a Doctor of Business Administration from the De La Salle University. She was also the 10th President of publicly listed Far Eastern University, a position which she held for 10 years. On the other hand, Attorney Epitacio B. Borselis Jr. is an epitome of the SM hardworking man who studied and worked his way to the top. Even before the inception of the SM College Scholarship, he was already Tatang's scholar. Even though he worked during the day and went to evening classes, Attorney Borsellis has a perfect attendance in his work schedule at SM. He is also a holder of 2 college degrees, BS Criminology from Philippine College of Criminology and Bachelor of Laws from the University of the East. For 42 years, he has handled several positions at SM, from CSR personnel, in-house security, a rank and file, and to his current position as Senior Vice President for Legal and Corporate Affairs. He serves as a member of the Board of Directors in 9 corporations in the SM conglomerate, a member of the Integrated Bar of the Philippines, and Intellectual Property Alumni Association Incorporated. All of these positions take up a lot of time, scholars. But like Mr. Harley and Ms. Debbie C., Dr. Echaus and Attorney Borsellis find every opportunity to regularly talk with you, our scholars, and share with you important life lessons. I hope you guys are excited to have our 2 speakers as your life coaches. Okay, so wag na natin patagalin pa. Let's all welcome Dr. Echaus and Attorney Borsellis. Good afternoon, sir and ma'am.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon to everyone and all our scholars and parents.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, Attorney Borsellis.
Good afternoon.
Okay.
All.
So yes. So welcome, ma'am, sir, to our interactive chat. Yes, and I'm sure our scholars will learn a lot from this part of the program. Okay, we can start. When Tatang passed away last year, the entire nation paid their respects to the remarkable industrialist and inspiring social good advocate while looking back at his colorful life. It was but fitting to remember and celebrate his humble beginnings. The story of a 12-year-old boy who sailed to Manila from China with his father with only 10 centavos. Scholars, tandaan niyo yan, 10 centavos lang ang dala-dala ni Tatang dati. And infinite hope to build a better life. Okay, let's start for Dr. Echaus. When Mr. Henry C. Sr., mostly known as Tatang, was still alive, I still remember how he was so eager to meet the scholars and expand the SM scholarship. Can you kindly share Tatang's reasons for making scholarship, particularly for making scholarship the first social good advocacy of SM Foundation?
Mr. Henry C. chose scholarship as his first social good advocacy because he knew that education was the best way out of poverty. As you heard again and again, one college graduate in a family can uplift the family to a better quality of life. A college graduate is likely to get a job. And if he or she is competent and honest and diligent, then he or she will get an even better job and earn even more. Education prepares a person not just for work, but for life. Mr. C focused on giving scholarship grants because he himself wanted it very much, even when he was a young boy. As you said, he came from southern China, where life was difficult. He arrived in the Philippines at the age of 12 to follow his father here, who ran a sari-sari store. The young boy saw how hard his father's life was, but he wanted to study and, almost embarrassed, asked his father if he could enroll in spite of their difficult situation. The father, seeing the eagerness of the boy, allowed him. Mr. C was 12 years old and was in grade 1, with not a word of English or Tagalog. Can you imagine his height and his age with his 5 or 6-year-old small classmates? But he did not mind. He really wanted to study. He would buy just a few pages of pad paper, as that was all he could afford. He borrowed books from his classmates overnight and returned them promptly the following morning. He sat beside classmates who had books so he could share in reading them. He asked his teacher if he could study morning and afternoon, and even overtime, so he could be accelerated. The teacher agreed, as long as he got 90% average, which he got. He was very bright. So he finished grade school in just 5 years. Then the Second World War broke out. Life became even more difficult. After the war, he started his shoe business, which was also starting to do well, but he still wanted to study. He got to college at Far Eastern University, but lasted only 2 years as his workload was very heavy. You can imagine how he works. He really worked hard. He was falling asleep doing his homework late in the night. It was a tough life. And so he decided he would help serious young people who did not have the means to go to college. I hope you scholars will truly value this very rare and very generous scholarship package that the C family is giving you. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Echaus. Wow, scholars. So, hindi kayo naiiba kay Tatang when he joined, when he was young. So I'm sure this online mechanics of going to school this school year will be an adjustment for you. But like Tatang, kayang-kaya nyo rin ito. Okay, scholars? All right, moving. Thank you again, Dr. Echaus. For Attorney Borselis, your college scholarship, sir, including your law education, was a scholarship given by Tatang himself. Can you share to us briefly what were the two greatest principles or values you lived by during the time you were studying that enabled you to maintain your scholarship and finish law school? Attorney B, go ahead po.
The two greatest principles that I value then are the very same principle I live by up to this day. Let me share with you my life mantras. First is hard work. Then and now, I would always tell myself that in the field of life, there is no substitute for hard work. And true enough, it is impossible to beat the hardest worker. It is impossible to beat the person who does not give up. As a young man then, while working at daytime and studying at night, I overcome difficulties through hard work. Believe me, hard work beats talent. Hard work beats luck. Looking back, Tatang, Mr. Henry C. Sr. taught me the value of hard work, simplicity in both lifestyle and in language, and to add, as a bonus, honesty. I remember what Tatang told me then. June, if you will dream big, start small, strive hard, and not to give up until you achieve your dream. Throughout my career journey, there was one man I look up as a father figure and mentor. He was our Tatang, who gave me the opportunity to improve my life in the lives of my family and relatives. As you said, unknown to others, like you scholars, I was a scholar of Tatang, even before the inception of SM Scholarship Program. Tatang allowed me to study at night He supported my studies until I finished my course in the Bachelor's of Laws at the University of the East in 1984 and until I passed the bar examinations in 1985. You as a SEM scholar, I encourage you not to waste this once in a lifetime opportunity given to you by SM Foundation and the SM family. Put in your sincere efforts in your studies and be patient. When you do this, believe me, success will always be a matter of time. The second mantra is simplicity. For me, simpler we can make things, the more successful we'll be. It's as simple as that. Based on my experience, simplicity means power. Simplicity is the art of making the complex clear. It is the power to work smarter. More working smarter at works, whether your studies, business, in our lives, families, relationship, enable us to do more with less. While you are young and still studying, train your minds to stop making things bigger, scarier, and more complex than they need to be. Life, living simple entails stripping away the non-essentials or things that are not important, and focusing your time and energy on the things that make the most, which is your education. And if I may briefly add a bonus, my third mantra is honesty. I am convinced that honesty is the most important characteristics that will lead to a successful life. Why? Being honest, you can breed trust. Of hard work, simplicity, and to add honesty. For me, these three important values will ensure that a person makes the most out of everything that the life throws at him, and it ensures success at all steps in life. Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Good afternoon.
Thank you very much, Attorney Borsellis. So scholars, tandaan ninyo yan, tatlong yan. Hard work, simplicity, and honesty. Thank you very much, Attorney Borsellis. Okay, we are joined not only by our awardees, but their parents are also watching this afternoon. So for Dr. Echaus, since treading college life is a shared journey between the students and their parents. What are your tips for our dear parents, yun po sa ating mga magulang, in order for them to guide their children in this journey? Can we have Dr. Echaus again, please?
Magandang hapon po sa mga magulang. Congratulations po at siguradong tuwang-tuwa kayo at napili ang inyong anak sa scholarship program na ito. Sa dinami-dami ng nag-apply sa program na ito, napili ang anak ninyo. Kayo po ang katuwang ng inyong mga anak sa kanilang pag-aaral. Una, mahalin at gabayan po ninyo ang inyong anak. Ang moral support po ninyo ay mahalaga sa inyong anak. Pangalawa, panatilihin po ninyo ng inyong tahanan at pamilya ay mapayapa at tahimik, walang away, para makapag-focus po ang inyong mga anak sa kanilang pag-aaral. Mahirap po mag-aaral pag magulo sa bahay. Pangatlo, maging magandang halimbawa po kayo sa inyong mga anak sa ugali at pananalita. At kahuli-hulihan, ipagdasal ninyo ang inyong anak at turuan nyo silang magdasal. At piliing gawin lamang ang tama at ayon sa kalooban ng Diyos. Yun lang po. Congratulations po sa mga magulang.
Thank you very much, Dr. Echaus. Yes, sa mga panahon pong ito, I think yung pong mga magulang ang pinakamasasaya sa araw na ito. Kasi bukod sa may scholarship yung anak nila, hindi naman nila kailangan mag-aral. So, sa mga scholars, I'm sure tuwang-tuwa yung inyong mga magulang. Okay. So finally, we're down to our last question. Finally, for our two guests, can you share some life hacks to our new scholars on how to succeed in their college life? Let's start with Dr. Echaus.
Okay. To succeed in your college life, dear scholars, you will need to be determined to do well and determined to finish your study program. It will not be easy, it will not be smooth, but be determined to finish the program. College life is very fulfilling and enjoyable if you do your part. First, prioritize your studies. Avoid distractions. For now, it is pandemic time and you are mostly confined at home. And that helps. But later, it may be different. Second, develop good study habits. Do your assignments and readings every day. If you do that, quizzes and tests will be easy. All you need to do is review. Then always be punctual in attending classes and submitting assignments and school requirements. Personally, I prefer being ahead of time all the time. Huwag pahuli-huli. Walang excuse, walang alibi. So, palagi kayo dapat na before time, nandiyan na kayo. Before mag-deadline, nakasubmit na kayo. Then, be cheerful. Be a cheerful student, classmate, team member. It will make college life much happier for yourself and for your classmates and friends and all those around you. Third, you stay healthy. It is hard to study if you're sickly, you know that. So, no cigarettes, no drugs, no alcohol, no beer, no late nights, no junk food, no useless spending. And eat healthy. Gulay at isda ang kainin natin. Fourth, live a life of honesty and integrity. Then you can be trustworthy, as Attorney Borselli said. No matter how bright you are, if you are dishonest, nobody will want to deal with you. Honesty and integrity are the key to true success in life. They bring about prosperity and peace of heart and mind. Finally, pray daily. When you wake up, ask for God's guidance and blessing, and then pray again at the end of the day before sleeping to thank God for the day. With this, you should be okay if you do these things. Good luck, and I'm really very happy for you to be chosen to enjoy these education benefits our founder, Mr. Henry C. himself, never enjoyed, but who chose to gift you with this special scholarship program. So you take care of this and you thank the family, the C family and SM Foundation. Thank you, Ling Ling.
Thank you very much, Dr. Echaus. So scholars, this entire proceeding will be recorded, so I'm sure you'd like to play this over and over again. So let's hear now from Attorney Borselli. Attorney B?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Any tips for our scholars on how to succeed in college life?
Well, first of all, I would like to advise the young scholars na dapat laging hard work, kumbaga sipag at tiyaga sa buhay. Hindi lang sa pag-aaral. Like me, when I was young, our family belongs to the lowest echelon of society. Talagang napakahirap namin. But then, my mother, who was widowed at the age of 34 and a plain housewife, encouraged us to go to school and finish our studies. Talagang nagsikap siya na kaming lahat na magkakapatid. 10 kami mapag-aral ng tapos. And luckily, because of hard work, napatapos niya kami lahat. So, gusto kong sabihin sa mga scholars, ang kahirapan ng isang tao ay hindi hadlang yan para tayo makapag-aral. Ako, at the age of 6, to tell you, nagtitinda na ako ng tinapay from 5 o'clock in the morning before going to school. And at the age of 9, I'm working in the farm. And at the age of 12, nagko-conductor na ako sa jeep. And when I come here in Manila, at the age of 13, second year lang ako sa high school, naging boy ako sa isang camera shop where I learned how to make batteries of cameras. And luckily, I was allowed to go to school while working. And I was able to graduate in high school. And while in high school, I also landed a part-time job of messenger, wherein I work as a liaison dealing with government, LGUs, BIR, and at the same time working at the shop to earn a living until I finish my college at the Philippine College of Criminology. After graduation in 1978, my 2 feet lead me to Shumart, Makati, where I was hired as CRS personnel in 1978. And that was the start when I met Mr. C. I was given the opportunity to work at SM. And as I said, I was probably the first scholar of Mr. C who was able to finish Bachelor's of Laws. And I'm very proud to announce to everybody that I am a Shumart-made lawyer. And to tell you, up to now, although I'm a retirable age, I'm still with SM. And I will be protecting their interests. And what I'm seeing and what I'm emphasizing is that walang imposible sa mahirap kung magsisikap ka lang. Kung ano ang naabot ko ngayon, posibleng abutin nyo rin. Kung anong mayroon ako ngayon, posibleng abutin nyo.
Yes.
Yun lang po.
Thank
Maraming
you
salamat.
very much, Attorney Bercelis. Yes. Thank you, Dr. Echaus and Attorney Bercelis, for sharing your time with us this afternoon. I'm sure our scholars are burning with excitement and truly motivated to face this school year after listening and learning from your stories and lessons. Thank you again to our guests this afternoon. I'll return the floor now to Roma. Thank you again.
Thank you, Ms. Ling, for moderating the learning session with our guest speakers. All these will not be possible without the support of our benefactors. So on behalf of our new SM scholars, we will have a message of gratitude from Clifford Jade Viana.
Hello po! Ako po si Jade. Unang-una po sa lahat, sa ngalan po ng mga SM Scholars na katulad ko, taus-puso po kami nagpapasalamat sa lahat po ng bumubuo ng SM Foundation Incorporated. Para po sa akin, ang SM Scholarship po ay isang napakalaking tulong at biyaya sa mga katulad ko pong estudyante na nangangarap na makapagtapos ng kolehiyo. Sa totoo lang po, hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin po ako makapaniwala na isa po ako sa mga libo-libong nakapasa sa SM Scholarship. Kaya maraming salamat po sa inyo. Siguro po, kung hindi po dahil sa SM Foundation hanggang ngayon, hindi ko pa rin po alam kung saan po ako mag-aaral at kung paano po ako mag-aaral. Isa po sa mga malaking suliranin na kinakaharap po namin mga estudyante ay ang lack of financial support. Not all the students out there are capable of continuing their studies in college because they are financially unstable. Lalong-lalo na po ngayon na kumakaharap po tayong lahat sa banta po ng COVID-19 pandemic. Marami pong nagbago, marami pong nag-adjust, even the educational system and the way of learning too. Kaya laking pasasalamat po namin mga SM Scholars sa SM Foundation sa tiwalang ipinagkaloob niyo po sa amin. Sa pamamagitan po ng scholarship na ito ay maipagpapatuloy na po namin ang aming pong mga nasimulan, ang aming pong pag-aaral, maging ng aming pong mga pangarap sa buhay. Kaya sisikapin at gagawin po namin ang lahat po ng aming makakaya upang makapagtapos po kami ng pag-aaral at upang balang araw din po ay makatulong po kami hindi lamang po sa aming pong mga pamilya, kundi po pati sa mga taong nangangailangan. Kaya hinihiling ko po at ipinapanalangin ko po na nawa po ay patuloy pong gawing instrumento ng ating Panginoong Diyos, ang SM Foundation, upang marami pa po itong mga estudyanteng matulungan katulad ko. Mabuhay po kayo at muli, maraming salamat po sa inyo. God bless you.
Thank you, Jade, for the thank you message. And of course, we will not end this event without a message from the champion of our social good programs under SM Foundation. She is the Executive Director of SM Foundation with a big heart for spreading social good. She is a graduate of De La Salle University with a degree in Business Management. Everyone, it is my honor to present to you our Executive Director, our leader, Miss Debbie C.
Good afternoon to all the guests and of course to all our new batch of SM Scholars. This scholarship is indeed SM's gift to you. Thank you for sharing all your stories. I hope that you will study well and work hard so we will work hand in hand to reach your goals. We will definitely see each other face to face if it may not be this year, but hopefully in the coming years. Again, congratulations to all of you and welcome to the SM family. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Debbie, for that wonderful message. Our scholars are looking forward
going to speak.
in seeing you face to face. And also, we have a special message from Mr. Harley C.
Harley, they're asking you to speak. He has to go to the office now. Thank you.
Thank you, Sir Harley. And there we have it, SM Scholars. Let's give a round of applause for all our guests this afternoon. And of course, isang malaking palakpak din for all of you, our awardees, the new batch of SM Scholars. Kayo ang bida ngayong araw na ito. This is just the first of many events which SM Foundation has for you. Before we end, let's have our virtual photo ops. Based on signal strength, we have identified representatives of your region. As we call out your area, please turn on your videos and smile. We divided the groups into 3, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Let us start with Luzon. And those in Visayas. And Mindanao. Thank you everyone for being present in our awarding of SM Scholars for school year 2020 to 2021. Let me end this virtual get-together with our mantra, once an SM Scholar, always an SM Scholar. Good afternoon to all and have a good day.